Hey, welcome to episode number 34 of Red River Podcast. Parker Lang and me hanging out here with a return guest, Rick Jimenez from Extinction AD and the Cesspool, and a lot of, and a lot of places. So you know, we were just talking real quick before we started about the Cesspool. So for anyone who remembers, I love stuff like this because it's such a DIY thing to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, like, just explain what the Cesspool is.
Our friend, a really close friend, Adam, he was almost at the time like an unofficial member of Subterfuge. We had 1 million unofficial members. His family owned a business. They had an old abandoned house that they used as their office for years, and they stopped using it as the office, so it was just an abandoned house. So we're always looking for a place to play shows because nobody would book any of our bands. So Adam is like, we used to play in Adam's backyard all the time. So I guess his parents were sick of that. They're like, why don't you play in that old house? So we, cleaned out the basement of the house. We cleaned out the kitchen to use it as a merch area and where everybody gets in. There was a toilet in the kitchen. So we, I think we put like a cardboard over the toilet and did merch on that and like a table or something. So we cleaned out the basement. We would do shows there. This was the summer of 2000. I think, through June and July and August, we did, maybe like 2 shows a month. We'd have between like 4 and like 15 people show up.
That's all you need.
Yeah, but they were pretty terrible. So, people wouldn't show up. Then eventually, we wound up, we knew a couple of other bands, but like convincing them to come like all the way from Kings Park to Smithtown to play a show was like a fucking hassle at the time. But eventually we got some bands to, play aside from just like other Smithtown bands that nobody cared about. And we did shows essentially, from summer 2000 through March 2001 was our last show. And by the time we did our last show, I think we had we wound up doing shows like 2 or 3 a month. And it was like more and more people always showing up, and the bands were getting, bigger, quote unquote. The last show we did, we had 135 people pay in a
awesome.
basement that, legally could probably fit like, 30, and like by hardcore standards could probably fit like 60, 70. So we had, I think it was the only show we charged people for. We charged $3 a head.
Was it a touring band or just...
It was Subterfuge, Center Zero, Domain. We used to always play together, those 3 bands. So we called ourselves the Clash of the Titans. It was obviously a joke. Nobody gave a shit. We wound up doing shows there because like any of the real bookers, I did that bunny ears quote shit, would have nothing to do with any of our 3 bands. So like fuck it, we'll just play. Play in this basement, and that's
I love stuff like that. It's just basically the essence of like, it's hard to explain to other people that aren't a part of that why that's cool, to just basically take it upon yourself. It's like, oh, we need a place to play. It's like, it's such a resourceful thing to do. It's super DIY, and I love shit like that. And when bands come through, like on tour, like I have a friend that has a house in Smithtown, same thing. It's like whenever bands come, they go there because it's a house. It's not a bar.
Yeah.
A bar, regardless, they're trying to make money because they're a business. You don't begrudge them for that.
Right.
So they think about stuff like that. For a house, it's like, hey, it's like we're all hanging out. Everyone takes donations, so it's like a really cool thing to do, and it's something that just keeps going.
That last show we had Wrong the Oppressor from Buffalo play. So we gave them all the. I'm pretty sure we gave them all the money. I don't remember ever making money in my life. But it was cool because, like I said, we couldn't get shows.
Is that why your shirt's from '92?
Yeah, right. I can't afford a new shirt. And I don't even mean like, of course, we couldn't get a show at Deja One or what else was even. I think Swing Set
probably like Dr. Shays, Crawdaddies, maybe.
Even stuff like that, which was like, all the scrub bands were able to play Ground Zero and Dr. Shays and all that shit, and like, we would have a hard time doing that, especially with Subterfuge. We were too hardcore for the punk kids and too punk for the hardcore kids, and we're like, fucking grow up, We thought we were sick, it was that kind of youthful arrogance,
yeah,
So like, yeah, we'll just do whatever we can, and if it's cool, people will show up, which is not anywhere close to the way the music works, but it was good that we went through it like that, and we just kind of, hey, we're doing a show at a place, like I said, that could fit that many people. We're going to hand out 800 flyers. Like I said, by the end, we had 135 people paid with 3 local bands that, less than a year before, nobody cared about, nobody would book. By the time that we were, March 2001, not like any of us were killing it, but, Domain and Subterfuge and Center Zero could, go and play, and like kids would come to see us and mosh around and stuff.
What did Jeff's Warsaw hair look like back then?
Oh, it was long and wavy.
Cool. He was in that band Domain.
Was
so,
he?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Domain was, like the realist metal of the bands around that time. Like a lot of the bands, the like shitty metalcore bands are like, oh, we're a metal band because they go that shit. Where Domain was like a super heavy hardcore band that was like actually metal.
Yeah. They were ripping, right?
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah, I just wanted to get I like to get, I'm sure whoever listens, they're gonna remember. Like I was telling him, I was talking to Brian Deneve yesterday on the other podcast, and he brought it up. So shout out to that. I thought it was really funny that the video that, the Misfit video for the last episode, like how serious is Danzig? Like as soon as that video comes up, like, whatever episodes we put up automatically go to YouTube, and they saw a Misfits reunion, so I guess it automatically gets flagged and taken down.
Definitely. I mean, I had that happen with another video. I can't remember which one it was, and I just changed the wording a little bit.
You couldn't do it for this?
This is different. This seems different. It was like instantly struck down by like the Danzig gods.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. I'm like, what the fuck?
Do we have to text the Northside Kings to see if they could help us?
Oh, nice.
I don't want to have to call them.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But I don't have to fuck with it and try it,
Yeah.
Change
what's
the
funny?
title or something. But it's just, you can't even discuss seeing them live. That's how like, tight it is.
Well, because like the videos,
Don't even think about it.
I was like looking for those videos that people put up, and they were fucking gone. Yeah. Like they were all fucking gone.
That one good clip was floating around for like 24 hours.
It was like 13 minutes.
And I'm so glad I saw it because it was a good recording. But yeah, nowhere to be found.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like that's fucking like I don't know.
Some
like,
mafia shit, Illuminati, Misfits.
Fucking skulls. There you go. Fucking skulls are real.
I think really what it is, it's like
Eddie Trunk did it.
Well, Eddie
It's going to be replaced by
Did you hear
UFO
that?
videos.
I flagged it.
You heard the video, right?
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
I mean, he is Eddie Trunk.
Yeah.
He knows a little bit about what he knows about.
Of course.
But
We get it. You're in a band. You never know.
Yeah, you never
be on
know.
the show. I
yeah,
get it.
man.
Are you positioning
There is
for
no chance Eddie Trunk or anybody else will ever pay attention to anything I do musically.
Get Michael Schenker in your band.
Yeah.
Nice.
He'll be all about
that
it.
would work, right? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, he just said his thing, and like it's today. George texted me, Reynolds, and he was like, "Yo, you guys really hate Eddie Trunk," because he was listening to the episode, and I was like, "Not really." It was just like it bothered me because it's almost like me sitting here talking about like it's like, you know what? I don't like the opera. I don't like the opera, so I'm going to sit here and I'm going to fucking be baffled as to how people go see it and have no idea.
Well, not only that, you would have to say the only reason people do go see it is because, the Phantom of the Opera mask.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? It's essentially the same argument he took.
He should just speak on what he knows. Play your position.
UFO.
Any band that, from the 80s.
Striper.
Kiss. He's
Is
a
he a
huge
big
Kiss
Striper
guy.
fan?
Brand new T-shirts of old bands.
Yeah, he's quick to tell you
episode.
what good friends he is with everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's freely was at
Yeah,
his wedding.
I'm like really tight with the guy from Jet Boy.
Cool. I was hanging out with Mark Tureen, Mark with a Q, the other night.
But if you want to talk about the internet,
Yeah.
what's making me crazy is the opposite of that is this whole Nofx thing.
Okay.
So there's been like comparisons of the two. Which is
Roseanne and
like
Nofx?
the dumbest comparison I've ever heard in my entire life. This has been driving me nuts. This whole like people's reaction to So first off, the majority of the people I've seen even comment about the Nofx thing are people that like were almost looking to be like, I've never liked that band ever anyway. So it's like, so then why are you bothered by it?
Why do you care?
But not only that.
I've never liked them. I hate them. And
I
to
don't
me
like them, and I haven't made a statement on the
I don't
subject.
Exactly, that's the whole thing. No one asked me. Like, it's like when like a celebrity dies and they like you're watching like the Channel 2, whatever that net. I don't know, what is it, Insider show or something? And they're like, oh, listen, what do you think about this fucking person that died? You don't know. It's like, oh, it's very sad. It's very sad. Like, you know,
I don't even know what the hell happened. Because since I don't like them, I didn't even fucking click on anything. So.
Rick's gonna tell you.
Yeah.
First off, I actually
They're one of your favorites. I
love
yeah,
Nofx.
I know that you. Yeah.
I love that when they first started, they were just like, you know, stupid hardcore band, and they became a stupid punk band. They make dumb jokes that I think are funny, and some that are just like, well, that is a dumb joke that I don't give a shit about. You know, like in the '80s, don't drink and drive, you'll spill your drink. Like, oh, Al Bundy humor. Like, all right, cool. And then, you know, eventually they're like, you know what? We're like this band. We should actually take a bit more of a stance and like say something important, but we'll still be funny too. So I appreciate that because I don't think bands need to be so lyrically one-dimensional. I mean, my band's lyrically one-dimensional, but I mean, they're like, oh, we're going to have this funny song that's like stupid, and then we're going to write a 20-minute song about how the world is falling to shit.
Even I know the Decline.
Yeah, which is like one of my favorite pieces of music ever. So anyway, they play that balance, but at the same time, they're still Nofx. They're like a stupid punk band. So a stupid punk band like Nofx, if you know anything about them, like they were playing Vegas, and they made mention of how that mass shooting was that last year in Vegas, and they're like, well, at least it was all country fans. So, and then people are up in arms. Okay, is it a good joke? That's up to people's opinions. Because it's like, yeah,
because it bothers everyone in a different way. Like to me, like I would have heard it, I would have been like, ooh, and then I would have moved on with my life.
Right.
Well,
exactly.
Yeah. But take it for what it is. It's Nofx making that joke. It's like a fucking, if a comedian goes on stage in Vegas and says the same exact thing, like, you're going to be like, oh, well, it was a joke. I either really thought that joke was funny or like, oh, I didn't really like that joke. But the internet goes crazy, and it's funny because, like I was saying, I drive for my job now. So this is what I equated this to today. And I hope people are bummed about this or realize how like big of like fucking wimpy, whiny losers they are. Going on the internet and complaining about that joke is walking around in your neighborhood and telling all the cars driving, no matter how fast they're going, slow down, slow down. What kind of fucking loser tells cars that, like, come on. So then you got to think about this in the context of, like, punk. Like,
punk is the last thing that entered my mind during this. Like, people equated it to me, like, I'm just thinking, like, a live band, and he said something, and I don't know. I'm so busy. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm just, like...
The reason why I bring up the punk thing is because everybody is... so sensitive.
Yeah.
And it's not even a fine line. There's like things that like common sense, be sensitive about this, and then things that common sense, to me at least, that are like, well, you can be sensitive towards this, but that doesn't mean you need to let everybody else know you're sensitive about this because it's just so obviously a joke.
Right.
I respect it for this fact. To me, something like this comes down to like almost like religion. Okay, like, okay, you want to believe in something. I think you're fucking nuts for giving a shit, but I'm going to look at it and be like, okay, if you want to be outraged or you want to be angry, fine. Why do you need to just basically bash everything out? If that joke bothered you so much, then just be like, okay, the joke bothered me. Like, why do you need to spread it and tell everyone that they need to lose?
Those people want to make it about them.
Always.
Like, look at me. I'm upset about this.
Same thing
Everyone
every time.
should feel like I do about this.
Every time a celebrity dies. Like, people have to give their life's history about that celebrity. Like, are you really mourning this celebrity?
I hope you're not talking about Lemmy, because I got a little...
People can mourn celebrities. Don't get me wrong. I've mourned celebrities. When the Ultimate Warrior died, I was bummed.
Fuck, dude.
But...
Rough one.
Oh shit! Didn't we do like I said something on Facebook and it bothered you?
About the Ultimate Warrior?
I said something. It might have been like a joke thing. So I said, I wished that the Ultimate Warrior was dead after he beat Hogan and it finally came true.
There's no way that bothered me.
Okay, no. Maybe you just like wrote something, and
pretty funny.
and it was like back and forth, and I was like, holy shit! I'm like, I think I just pissed off Rick because like like
crossed the
You know
line
what it
there.
is when you don't like not that I don't like wrestling. It's just not my thing. So I could make jokes like that.
It bothered me when my wife fucking woke me up and told me.
Yeah.
That fucking bothered me. It's like 11 o'clock at night. She's like,
Hey, she's like,
asshole.
let me ruin this guy's night.
Hey, asshole, I think
Get
she
up,
said.
get up.
She's like, the Ultimate Warrior died. And of course, I'm just like, what? Fucking go fuck yourself. You fucking... And then I wake up the next day and the fucking guy's dead.
Wow.
See, I
I
think
I
that
used like a
joke's
sick
funny.
day for like work and just like cried the whole day like in the bathroom.
I forget exactly what I said in the back and forth and stuff, but maybe it was. Just,
I would like to think that anything we wrote was like, that's funny. Here's something funny. Here's something funny. That's for like the internet is for information or humor.
Yeah.
You know what? I like actually had to write some things out because I'll do that because I write lyrics and shit. So sometimes things will turn to things.
Good. I need you to finalize. Like I've been trying to finalize lyrics for the last few months.
Shit.
But,
Phone a friend. Phone a Rick.
everything be like everybody wants to play morality police
Oh, of course.
and like the whole fucking
absolutely.
like everyone gets on their soapbox on the internet as if like if I just write this, I'm doing something. Where it's like you are not. Capital U, lowercase r, capital N, 0, plus sign. You're not doing shit. Like, and all these like fucking hashtags and shit. And you know what bums me out about this? When someone takes a stance against something real, and then they take a stance on bullshit, and then more bullshit. It's like, well, now you're ruining the stance that actually does mean something. And I've seen several people do that where they've written stuff about A, B, and C, which is like, I back that. I totally back that with you here. Well, you just want to complain about something. You're really bummed that Nofx, a fucking comedy band, made a joke about country fans getting shot. Come on, especially like, I like to think certain things I'm sensitive to, or I'm least sensitive towards people's sensitivity to. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if this is like the shittiest thing in the world to say, but also as like, first and foremost, I'm like a fucking punk guy. So like making a joke about killing country fans is fucking funny. Yeah. Like grow up.
I know people
like, what the fuck ever happened to like...
I know people that made that joke the day of, like the minute after it happened.
Anything that happens, there's a meme about like
Jerry
10 seconds
Smith
later, somebody's like, boom.
Jerry Smith probably made a meme about it and sent it to like the private message world is the cesspool. Like I can only imagine, and I feel bad because some people that I really like is people were bothered by it or something. But in my head, I'm just thinking like, I
just think you got to stop and be like,
yeah.
Are you really
Like,
bothered?
reevaluate.
That's the thing. Are you actually
Really?
bothered by it, or like
this really
are you
ruining
just
your
trying
day?
to take a stance? And don't get me wrong, like I was defending the joke, but I'm kind of playing devil's advocate because. So something else I thought about is the society that we live in is already so reactionary. The left says something, so the right goes the complete opposite, and
vice versa.
Yeah. Everybody's guilty of it, and it perpetuates itself. So for it to even get that far, that like this is a thing, like it's a fucking joke. I can't even think of something else that is more obviously a joke. And I swear to God, because I actually thought about it, because I knew this was going to come up, and I was like, all right, that's not funny. Like, tell me a joke that's funny. And then I tried to think of like, well, what's a joke? What's a joke? And I couldn't even come up with anything. Like, what's more blatantly a joke? Anything I'm coming with is like some dumb shit like the chicken and, like, that joke sucks.
I mean, the news cycle, though, in 2 days, somebody else is going to do some dumb shit, and no one's going to talk about Nofx. It never happened.
Yeah.
It's like, boom.
Yeah,
well,
like, with the from Roseanne to that.
Exactly.
And to me, I don't know, I'm not saying what either of them did was right or wrong, because to me, I'm just thinking, like, I just don't care. Like, you think they're, like, the world is just the way it is. It's
right.
just like now everyone's like, you know what? It's like the planet is one big Yelp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
It's like, oh, you know what? I got to complain about this show because he said something that I don't agree with, and
Right.
you know, and then like I said, it's one of those things where it hits me like religion, where it's like I respect someone's reaction to it, but it doesn't mean like it doesn't mean that I'm not going to look at you like you're fucking nuts behind your back. Because you're like, I'm really upset over this. I'm like, I know, definitely. And then when you turn around, you're like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? Like, but I'm like, yeah, whatever, man. Jesus Christ is real. I'm with you.
The thing is, something like, Roseanne's show, and well, it's not even the show. It's what she wrote on the internet.
On Twitter.
And what she write, like, stupid. That's a dumb thing to write, especially no matter what. But especially if you're a celebrity, you know you're gonna get slack for it or crap for it. But either way, do I think her? Not that anyone cares, but do I think her show should have been canceled because of it? Honestly, I don't really know. But the thing is, just because, some of us may not agree with something doesn't always mean it shouldn't be allowed to be said. And it's a slippery slope where it's like, wait a minute. And don't get me wrong, like, oh, well, if you say some racist bullshit, your show's going to get canceled. To me, that's a proper consequence. But when does it get to be a little less where it's like, well, I didn't say anything racist, but like, our show is just very, Trump style. And, just say the trend of the media within that week is, oh, no, we can't have anything on TV that's Trump style. And, or vice versa. Something is like ultra left. Where it's like, this show is nothing but multiracial gay couples. And somebody else is like...
It's like gay cowboys eating pudding.
Hey, I don't like that show. Get that shit off. And then they take it off because that guy's offended. Like, you can't keep... It's a slippery slope, so sometimes you have to defend the bad because that's just... that's what's supposed to be what the
Free
country is about.
And the bottom line for networks like that is money.
Well,
money,
of course.
It's a business. So for them, they're
what's
thinking...
the number one rated show, right?
No, but they're looking and they're thinking, like, what's the backlash going to be? Like, is the backlash worth it? These people want Roseanne's head, and we want their dollar. So it's like, let me give you Roseanne's head, and then everyone's like, okay, hey, we'll just get another show.
We'll put a reality show on.
Even if 10% is angry and they want Roseanne's head, that's going to be the loudest 10%.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And they're going to be like, okay, well, you know what? Fuck, we have to fold to this, and that's just the way it is. But to me, and I'm just a nobody on the planet, I don't know. I don't care. Like, Roseanne said what she said. That's fine. Listen, Roseanne's going to be okay. Her life is going to be just fucking fine.
Dude, could you imagine if there was Twitter in the 80s?
No.
Oh, what she would have said, forget about it.
What anybody would have said. Nobody would have a career ever. And I'm not saying that's good or bad, but just kind of,
They're all up on coke. They're tweeting at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Ted Danson's Twitter in 1985?
No. Could you imagine, like, awesome. Frank Sinatra, like, in the 50s?
Dude.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying, like, people should get away
There's
with...
a bit there somewhere.
Yeah, right.
I think it's just, and it's impossible because no one's going to listen. Because the more people, if there's 10 people, there's going to be 10 different opinions, and you add another 10, it's just always going to be fractured. But geez, if everyone could just kind of like sit back for a minute and be like, why am I so angry at this? Like, because people just rile shit up. It's like, you believe what this motherfucker just said? It's like, wait, what? It's like, yo, and then you play telephone, and from there you're like on social media and you're sharing shit you don't even know. It's like, okay, I did my good deed for the day.
It's a fucking big problem.
My good deed for the day.
It's like Police Academy. That guy, throws the apple, hits the guy in the head. Then that guy punches the next guy. Then there's a fucking full scale riot going on.
I was like, I don't know where he's going with this, but it was good. I'm glad I followed you there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is very true.
Nice.
I always thought Police Academy 5.
Oh.
That's my favorite one.
Is it really?
That's the one with...
Lassard's nephew.
Dork.
Captain Dork,
yeah.
Interesting.
Isn't that weird? And it's not on Netflix or anything.
Is it because Gutenberg left or something? Like,
it's probably just the one that I saw the most when I was a kid.
Miami, what is it? Police Academy something Miami.
They're driving in the swamp and
I'm very
everything.
bad with
it
series.
was the first
you guys
one.
know
No, the
way
first
more than I do.
What the hell was it
No,
called?
the first one was just Police Academy. The
Academy.
second was Back in Action.
Right, and then Citizens on
Back in
Patrol.
Training.
Oh,
it was
okay.
3.
No,
Citizens-
second was First Assignment.
Oh, maybe First
Yeah.
Assignment.
Citizen Patrol
Back
was
in
4.
training, 4 Citizens on Patrol, 5 was Assignment Miami Beach.
Yeah. 6
Wow.
was City Under Siege.
And 7 was
7 was
Moscow.
Mission to Moscow.
Holy fuck, they got that high.
Yo, I think
I
you know,
checked out.
I think by 6,
6 was bad.
I was getting older,
Yeah.
and they could no longer fool me. 5 they snuck in, and I was still young enough. where I
Michael
was-
Winslow was still there the
Yeah.
whole time, right?
Yeah, I'm like,
Had
oh,
to
you
be.
could. I'm like, wow, look at this guy with his no. And to me, I was a Tackleberry guy. Tackleberry was,
Oh yeah,
he was my guy.
playing the sax in the first one when the chicks started taking their tops off. You know, that was
Oh, the
great.
sax, and he was
Yeah.
playing an air sax because
Yeah.
he wasn't even hitting the notes the right way. Why would they give him a sax of all fucking things? Like,
I think
Sexy
I think
80s.
Jones was playing like
80s
an
sex
air.
music right there.
He was
like,
playing a racket,
Yeah, the
tennis
racket
racket.
he was playing.
and if you, somebody sent me a picture recently because we were having a police academy discussion via text.
Yeah, that went well.
So somebody sent me a picture of Callahan, and when she dips in the water, you can see her titties.
Oh
and her
yeah,
nipples.
yeah, yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing. Because he said he wanted to do a poll on Red River, and it was either Kim Cattrall or Callahan. And I'm
Callahan.
Callahan.
I
Man.
went Kim Cattrall,
And
then
Kim Cattrall was my original, top 3. It was her,
Yeah.
Leah Thompson, and Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer,
Yeah.
Jennifer,
Career opportunities,
No.
Jennifer Connery.
Right there.
Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly
Yeah.
in Requiem for a Dream is the hottest. Ass to ass, she had a bush sticking out in the scenes. Like, she's hot. She was the hottest there. Career opportunities, that's fine. Labyrinth is just
That
weird.
movie was so depressing to me. Like I could barely find her attractiveness.
Well, here's the
I
thing.
mean, I saw it, but it was so disturbing.
It was disturbing, but you saw Bush. And like I was like,
Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah.
Booger
Hand
over
down.
here.
and then at the end they were going ass to
Hair
ass.
pie.
You
Just
know?
got
I'll
this
give you
episode
that.
just got raunchy, man. Wow,
Yeah.
love it.
Weird
Free
term.
Speech Police Academy.
Yeah.
Easterbrook Bush. Boom.
Yo, let's talk about Extinction AD. So what's going on? You
Yeah.
guys released Decimation Treaty?
Yeah, that was in
Because when you were in, man, we fucking talked a lot of shit, and I think we spent like 10 minutes on Extinction.
Only four-part episode.
We had no idea.
that's my fault.
We
man.
had no
I just
idea.
start talking,
No,
man.
believe
Oh,
me.
it's fun.
It was
man.
it was the fact that we're like, oh, we're doing a podcast. We're like, this is so cool. We're like,
We were
well, let's,
enjoying ourselves.
why don't you tell us? Start at age 5, please.
That record release was
What's
a
your
blast.
first memory?
That was a great lineup.
Memory?
Oh, that was a good show.
That was a great show.
That was very surprising. to me.
Carcosa, King of the Ring. I had a blast for King of the Ring,
Um,
man. That was so much fun.
We were nervous about doing a record release show because it's Long Island, so people don't actually like music. They like,
It is like
hanging out and calling their group of friends
Oh,
a
yeah.
fucking subculture.
No.
it is like it could be like an ego blast. It's like, all right, we're gonna do a record release, and like 10 people show up, and you're like, just kidding, guys.
We were expecting, like we talked about practice, like how many people you think are going to be here? How many people? So the average,
I don't think
the
we ever-
consensus
No.
was 45 people.
It's not bad, yes.
And we had over 100 paid.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
That
blew
was
my
awesome.
mind. Blew my mind.
Yeah.
You know what? We had great support. All the locals, promoted, and whenever we play and we have locals be like, would you be cool with not playing for like a month and a half before and not announcing anything until after the show?
Yeah.
So if we have 4 openers, hopefully 2 of them will actually follow the rules instead
Yeah,
of
of
one of
course.
them being like, well, we got offered this show and this other show and we couldn't say no. It's like you can do a lot of things. Anyway, we put out the record in February, I think. Decimation Treaty came out. We went on tour with Darkest Hour for a little while.
Oh yeah.
Good time right
Did
there.
they start playing again? Because I feel like they went away, right?
No, they never stopped.
Really?
They're one of those bands everybody always thinks that about them. And not only did they never stop, they never put out a bad record.
No. That
put-
new lineup is insane. That new
Yes.
drummer is
Oh, yeah,
fucking
he's a
legit,
beast.
man. He is legit,
Yeah.
that guy.
They had some records that were better than others, but they never put out a bad record.
No.
The last record they just put out is awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
But we toured with them and Whores, that band Whores.
Yeah. That's another band, like a 3-piece, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was really cool tour. We had a ton of fun. It was a great tour for us. And
How
playing
long was
with
that
those- Just over a week. We did a couple of headliner shows, played a little over a week with the tour. and
Where'd you guys
some
go?
headliners. I think we went down the East Coast a bit.
Okay.
But I don't think we went to Florida. And I think we went down the East Coast and back up through the Midwest a bit, if I remember correctly.
And how was like the reception to
it was good. It's not like the shows were huge, but the thing is, we don't care. Especially like at our age, or my age at least, like it's legit. If there are 4 people there, I can't believe 4 people care enough about what we're doing.
I'm with you.
That's
how I feel.
They're here. I was I don't even want to say spoiled, but I took touring and playing music for granted for a long time, on a lot of different levels. Like, never so much that like, this show isn't good enough, but like, it is during a lot of This Is Hell. It was, it felt like almost every show was like, is the band falling apart? And not really the band, but just kind of like, I guess the scene we're playing in or whatever the fuck. And we're all getting older and nobody has any money. So it was like, and we weren't working for the most part. So like, there was too much pressure on everything.
It is like a test, like once you start hitting the road and you start doing it for real. And like you said, you're not like, you either have to tour full time or fucking get a job and play weekends. Like Dan Lamelli.
It's crazy because as far as I know, growing up, that's how it was. And This Is Hell toured stupid amounts.
Constantly.
I don't know the exact number, but I'm pretty sure we played close to 1,200 shows.
Wow.
I guess we toured for 6 years, 7 years.
So you're rich.
Yeah. So I'm loaded.
Josh Trustkill came through with that, I'm sure.
But it's crazy because now the bands that do well are the bands that don't tour all the time. And
well, Dan blew our mind when he gave us like the incendiary, fucking itinerary. He was just like this.
Just weekends.
Yeah. Right. Because none of them wanted to lose their jobs.
Weekend warrior. Yeah.
And they're like one of the biggest bands in hardcore.
Yeah.
So how that all exactly works is foreign to me.
Yeah.
Good for them. I'm glad that if anybody can make it work, it's 5 of my friends in a great band. But that was never even like a realistic option to me. And it's crazy because like from day one, I just drilled it into everyone I ever played music, with their heads. Like, we're either going to do this or we're not going to do this. Like, if we're half-assing it, we need to make sure we know we're half-assing it because I'm going to do something else.
Were you always the guy?
Oh, yeah. In This Is Hell, I wasn't always the guy. I was a music guy, but I wasn't like the dude in the band. Travis was that guy. But in all my other bands, I was that...
the workhorse.
Or, like the business guy.
Yeah.
Or, business guy. But, Travis was that in This Is Hell, so that was awesome. I didn't have to do that anymore. And that was also the most, successful band. So maybe I wasn't good at it as it was. But either way, but at this point, it's like, well, it's hard to do things full time because we're all so old. But we're still trying, I guess. We do our best, But, I don't even know where we were going.
I don't know where you were going. I was going with you. So you put out the record.
Oh, so anyway, we put out the record in February. We did the tour at Darkest Hour. It was a ton of fun.
When you came in, we weren't sure. You were like, "Oh, I don't know. We were writing some stuff. We don't know who's going to put the record out. All this other."
All right,
shit.
so we did the record with Good Fight. It's our second record with Good Fight. We had a new artist. This guy Greg Martinez, who was amazing. We had this like. I don't want to say it wasn't crazy to us. It was kind of like a stupid concept of like, who can do this? And we found this dude, and he like nailed it. I don't know if it's like the half eagle, half snake on a big pile of skulls.
I love the video too that you guys released for that album.
Right, yeah.
There you go. So, so we did the video before the tour with Anthony Dragon Neck from Straight from the Path. Put out the record. Went on tour at Darkest Hour. Oh, so that's what I was saying. In, my late 30s, no matter how many people are there, I totally appreciate playing. And it's never a chore.
Never a chore. Yeah.
It's never like, oh, well, there's only 4 people. Like, I'll just get up there and play. It's like, nope. You know what? I can't believe 4 people are paying attention to what we're doing, and we're already here. the only thing we could do is have the best time.
Yep.
And if we have our best time, maybe they'll have the best time.
Yeah, no,
So-
I could completely relate to that. That's like, it never feels like a chore. Like, you go, you fucking play, and anytime we get to play a show, I look around, I'm like, we're old and we still fucking get to do this.
Yeah.
This is fucking awesome.
So being able to do that with Darkest Hour, on a real tour, which I mean sounds silly,
No.
because it's like, oh, does that mean I'm not a real musician? But at this point in my life, I still like, I play guitar and I write songs, but like, I don't know if I really feel like I deserve to be allowed to go on tour and stuff. I know anybody could fucking go on tour, but it's like, I value it more now than I ever did. So, we played some couple of headliner shows, and like, these headliner shows were good for us. It was like a bunch of people, and people came to see us, and this person's seen us 3 times. Like,
Yeah,
oh, that's
so,
cool.
So you see like the dots maybe connecting
A
a little bit more?
little bit. We're not fucking crushing it, but I mean, we're having a good time. So if we have a good time and 60 people show up to a show in Virginia Beach, and there's 3 locals, and we're afraid everyone's going to leave before we play,
Yeah.
and we don't feel like we're headlining, we feel like we're playing last.
Of course.
And then
that is true.
when we play last, everyone sticks around, and they, especially because it's a metal show, it's, not any other type of show. We're about to play, people are up front, which is like, that's like all I ever wanted.
Yeah.
You're about to play, people up front. You don't have to hit a fucking E chord and, all right, come inside, make the horseshoe, then maybe you could, play karate when we play the slow part. We didn't even play slow.
Yeah. I'm picturing everything right now. Like,
So, we go from that. The Darkest Hour shows were awesome. We come home and we do our record release show, if I remember the chronology properly. And we spent a while getting this lineup together. I really wanted to play with Kings of the Ring, because I thought that would have been sick. And they don't normally... Kings of the Ring
explain
is...
what they do, because I saw them, but it's pretty unique.
So they are a wrestling entrance theme tribute band.
So good.
Everybody
So
in the
fucking
band
original.
is a character. It's awesome. And they don't usually support. They headline and they play for 2 hours and they get wasted and they have
Really?
fun and they do trivia and all this stuff.
Where are they from?
Long Island.
Wow. And they
Yeah.
play for that fucking long?
Yeah, there's a lot of entrance themes. So, I really thought it'd be cool to have them show up. Plus, because I'm such a fucking wrestling nerd, we have a little bit of a wrestling crowd crossover.
Do they do the Chief J Strongbow?
I don't think he had an entrance
Yeah,
theme.
I think that was great. huh?
Just kidding.
But
I always have to name drop.
we had them and Carcosa and
Me and Parker were there.
Thracian and Enemy of the
It was a
State.
blast. Wow.
So
Langan was too cool.
Yeah.
we had a great lineup, and there was a lot of people there, and we didn't feel like we were just playing last.
Because
we
on
felt
a
like we were
local
headlining.
show, on shows, like, people are always... That's the joke. Like, whenever you play, you're like, oh, you're like, oh, you're headlining, huh? Because it never feels like you're headlining.
It feels like you're playing last, and you're
Yeah.
trying to convince people to please
Yeah.
don't leave before we play.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to do that, and
Yeah.
it was so cool. And that, like, historically, aside from Soldiers, no band and Subterfuge, no band I was ever in did well on Long Island. So that was like, I can't believe that this was a thing. So, like, we are riding high, and then it's always, you're in a band, what's next? Not just because you want to keep your momentum going, but, because touring is fun and everything else sucks.
Also, you guys are... I can't think of another... like, maybe, I don't know, but I can't think of another, like, thrash band from Long Island at the moment. Is that band Accelerator?
Yeah, they're a thrash band. Enemy of the State is awesome.
I-
They're a thrash band. They played the record release show also, but there's not a lot.
There's not a
And
lot, yeah.
There's not a lot that I know of. I really hope I'm wrong. And
Is that good or bad?
I think it's a bummer.
Yeah.
I wish there was more. So there was, you could make a scene, and I can go to a show that I want to hear the bands, as opposed to go to a show because I just want to hang out with people or feel like I should go. Which there are a few bands, but I mean, for the most part, like, just being real, there's not a lot of, like, Long Island bands I'm excited about right now. Enemy of the State is one of those bands.
Playing Dead, obviously.
Oh, the Grateful Dead tribute band.
Nice.
The Grateful Dead cover band.
Absolutely.
So, we were kind of stressing out, like, what the fuck are we going to do? We have nothing.
The label doesn't get you, like, tour?
Everyone's trying. We have a newer agent. I don't want to say like a team because that sounds so fucking
Street
corny.
team?
But yeah, so we have the Victory Street team.
Nice.
No, we have 2 guys at the label who are like they're always looking to help us out. Even saying that sounds like they work. Our agent works. Travis, who's like our unofficial manager.
Okay, yeah.
He works harder than anybody.
He always looks like he's working.
And I say that unofficially because it's like that's what he does it because he likes to use the internet and talk to people and push the band, which is like it's so cool.
I never talked to him until recently. He like messaged me about something.
Yeah, he's a cool, weird guy.
Yeah, he's like, you guys mentioned the old 97s on the podcast, and I was like, and we had like an hour-long conversation.
Oh, that's right up his alley.
Yeah,
right up his tailpipe.
Band in the tailpipe. So he's helping you out.
Yeah, so we have a handful of people just like helping. So eventually, we spent months and months like submitting for this tour and should we put together our own tour and all this
so
shit.
how does that work? Like, how do you submit? Like,
you have to kind of find out who's putting together a tour,
like
and
the Havocs of the world.
Yeah, and like, hey, we want to do this tour, and they're like, that's full. It's like you would be, well, I don't know if you would be surprised, but it's quite high how many emails we get back. Tour's full. It's like, fuck, man, that's a 5-band tour in December, and we're talking in like April. That tour's full, shitter's full. So we were working on a bunch of things, and there's always these possibilities, and we had an A plan, a B plan, a C plan, a D plan, and thankfully a few of those things worked out. So we're going back out again this summer with Havoc, which is, dude. So we played our first show ever with Havoc. We just met them at that show. Hey,
where are they from again?
Colorado.
Wow.
So we played our first show with
people
them.
There?
What happened?
Is it just people in Colorado? I just never think of Colorado as like a real place.
Oh, well, Denver. They have weed now.
Oh, Denver
That's the
weed.
first thing I
Happy
think of.
people. A lot of happy people.
Hungry.
So we played our first show just about 2 months after we started, and it was us and Havoc at St. Vitus, and that's it. And it was like, we go up there and we're playing, and I'm talking about what the songs are about, and then I talk to David, the singer. He's like, dude, I feel like this about this, and like ideal-wise.
Nofx.
Yeah, ideal-wise, we're very much on the same page.
Okay.
So he's like, that's sick. Like, we should play together more. I was like, well, this is our first show, and so they took us out on tour, just as a like, hey, I told you that I wanted to take you guys out on tour, and like a year later, they're like, oh, we have this tour. It's like, we're fucking nobodies, and they took us out, and it was like, we get along really great, both like when we have serious discussions, and then when we're fucking around being assholes, like the two bands just mesh perfectly, and musically, obviously,
Do you feel like it's important for like bands like that to, like, even like a mid-level band, right? Because they're not that popular, but they're not popular, to like help out other bands? Because I would imagine like every band on top has to like bring somebody up eventually.
That's the way it's supposed to be. Especially coming from hardcore, that's definitely the way it's supposed to be. In this day and age, that's not the way it works. So for them to take us out the first time, which I think was only our third tour, and then they took us out again when they put out their last record, like, oh, we're doing our record release, we want to take you guys out again. Like, that's fucking sick. So the fact that they're taking us out a third time, and in that time, they've done a ton of touring with Megadeth.
Yeah.
They've done some touring with Suicidal. Like, they've done bigger tours, so they're getting bigger and bigger. So the fact that they're kind of just like dragging us along is like,
It's awesome.
It doesn't happen.
Right.
So the fact that like they're that good of friends and they believe in the band is like so flattering. Because they're fucking awesome.
They're very
they're
good.
so tight.
The last record's fucking great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, putting like an interesting spin on thrash instead of just like, hey, remember thrash and fucking neon and pizza?
They do like the neon.
A lot of the new breed of thrash, like I love these bands, and they're not just emulating what happened. They're really
No,
adding a new
it
twist
feels
on
genuine.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're great. I mean, you guys, the stuff you're doing, Dust Bolt, there's I mean, Warbringer.
Always
so
Toxic
many
Holocaust.
Toxic Holocaust.
Yeah.
But I love that scene.
Even
you know?
like Gate Creeper, I heard recently.
Oh,
Yeah, band's
great.
cool.
Yeah. There's a lot.
Yeah, there is a lot of fucking great fucking metal right now.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still haven't heard the At the Gates album that you brought up the other day.
Good. It's good stuff.
So from there, like, you guys even hooked up with like Suicidal, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's fucking awesome.
So we got the Suicidal stuff. That was on the plate, and then it almost came through, fell apart. Almost came through.
How does that
fell
fall
apart.
apart? Like, you get.
It's just kind of them sorting out who they're taking, who they're not taking, and one band was going to do their own tour, and then this other band was going to do this tour, and all this. It's a lot of back and forth of who's available and all the money going around and all this shit.
I just picture you and Mike Muir doing pull-ups together. Is that gonna happen?
It's going to be funny, us next to each other. But then it got to the point where we didn't know exactly what was going to go on. Havoc is like, well, we're doing a couple shows out the Suicidal. You want to come with us to those shows? We're like, we do, but we can't just go all the way out to the West Coast to do a couple shows and go back. So they're doing the Suicidal shows, and then Sick of It All does some of the Suicidal shows. And they're like, Havoc made a whole tour out of it. So they're like, you want to do the rest of the tour also? I'm like, well, we were in consideration for the Suicidal shows. If we can get them the Suicidal shows, then we can make the whole thing happen. And then at that point, like, oh, you're already touring with Havoc here and there, and they're doing that. Like, it's cool with everybody so long as it's cool with the band. And then apparently the band is cool with it. So then it's like, oh, well, fuck it. Well, we didn't announce all these shows yet, but we're doing headline shows out to the West Coast.
Headlining.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a big deal.
We'll be playing last.
Yeah.
But we'll do a bunch of shows out there. Meet up with Havoc. Then the both of us meet up with Suicidal, and we play 4 shows in Western Canada with Suicidal. Then us and Havoc come back into the States and run around.
So it sounds like a
and we do
long trip.
little over a month.
Nice.
How do you keep in shape to like? How do you keep the voice in shape? How do you keep the fucking fingers in shape?
My voice, I have no idea.
Yeah. You just have it.
Sometimes I don't know. If I can get past the first 3 days, I'm fine. If I get fucked up on during the first 3 days, then I have a hard time.
Do you take care of it? Like, do you go to bed early? Do you like drink shit?
Water.
Not as much as I should.
Yeah.
I mean, I do my warm ups. There was for a while I stopped doing my warm ups during Soldiers. I just didn't need it anymore. So then I was like, fuck. But once we started doing Extinction, I was like, I'm hitting some like shitty notes and stuff. So I started doing my warm ups. There's some tours where I don't need to do it, and I'm fine. Other tours I need to do it.
Do you listen back at like like Instagram clips or stuff like that? Just to make sure that everything sounds right, or
no?
I
never want to hear.
I do that
myself.
I hate myself. I post shit it, and then like I listen back. I was like, that fucking line was so flat. I can't.
If other people post short videos, like an Instagram long video,
yeah,
I'll watch that. Whenever someone's like, "Oh, I recorded your set. You want it?" No. I don't care. Because I'm always gonna do the best I can anyway, and I already know if I fucked up or if I didn't. Especially if the show is really good. At this point, I don't want to watch it back and be like, "Oh, maybe it wasn't as
because
good."
you're gonna.
About it.
That's
yeah,
what I
next
would
time
do.
you play.
Like
Yeah.
we played the Knitting Factory on Sunday, and I was like, that was fucking awesome. And then I listened back to some of the clips, and I was like, sang flat there, sang flat there.
Yeah,
in my head,
gonna
like
be your
I'm
own
just gonna
worst
pick
critic,
it apart.
You're gonna notice stuff that everyone else isn't gonna.
Of
Luckily,
course,
no
of
one was
course.
there.
But like I'll when we record, when I'm demoing stuff, I'll make sure it's right, and then I do my best. There's a couple of things where like certain songs I know I still have a hard time singing and playing at the same time.
There's some fucking really crazy guitar stuff. Like I'm trying to think. What was the name of the video?
Secret Worlds.
Yeah, that's the one right there. That one's got like it's a good first pick because it has like the most, I don't want to say accessible chorus, but it's got a pretty.
Oh, yeah, that's like it's melodic.
I remember the first time I heard that. When the second chorus came in, I was like, I hope he doubles it, and you did.
Oh,
yeah. It's a
I was
good
like,
double.
That's so good right there.
Yeah, it's a good double. And the other one is Pray to Die. There's some like really good fucking wailing on that.
The first 4 songs I think flow like fantastic. You know, I think.
Shitting on the rest of the album.
No, but I just think the first 4 just flow.
Okay.
You know, the
just get rid of the other. Can you get rid of?
It should have been a 7-inch. We'll do a 7-inch next time. Yeah.
I don't even know if it would have fit on a 7-inch.
But yeah, there's fucking shredding on this fucking record completely.
yeah.
So
I mean, our lead guitar player is like a whack job. You know, he's nuts. So that's
what's the hardest song for you to sing and play? I want
the first one.
The first one?
Or you know what? The hardest one to sing and play that we play is the first one.
Okay.
It's that the first vocal is like a super long scream. So what I wanted to do is, you know, the whole like Angel of Death thing, but I didn't want to do the typical start high and then come low. Plus, I wanted to make it longer. So I was like, what if I'm going to start low and get higher and then come back down? So that's like super, super difficult to do. And when we were recording it, you know, it's kind of like I see spots at the end of it.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
When we play it live, it's difficult. But then after that, and we open with the song. After that, the verse, it's the first, like, it's pitchy, you know? The first 2 notes are always, like, super difficult. But not only that, the rhythm of what I'm playing on guitar, it's all like, and all downstrokes where it's palm muting.
You get really into it too, and I find it for me whenever I get too into it because I'm a singer guitar player. I fuck up, like, you know, like I need to concentrate sometimes, but like you're stomping around, you're like punching the air. I'm like
punching your guitar
Nice.
like Doyle.
well, no, that's what he's fucking wilding out over there, and he still catches like because it's very technical music. Like me, I could play sloppy, no one would even know, you know. So it's
sometimes, you know,
you feel it.
Sometimes I'll write the when I'm writing the lyrics, I'll write it around the music, not like, oh, so it sounds good over music, but like I know this is hard to play, so I pick and choose my spots of where I'm gonna sing. But sometimes when I do that, it sounds shitty, so I have to straight up ignore it. And like I wrote the guitar this way, now I'm gonna write the vocals this way, and I'll figure it out later. So that first song, I can do it, but it's very difficult. The 9th song, I still haven't figured out how to sing and play at the same time, so we haven't been playing it, which is a bummer because it's a song we want to play live. It's like so bad, but
So for your headlining sets, like you have 2 albums, like it's just gonna be like a mix, like a half and half.
No, that we're playing almost all
of the new
the
record?
newer stuff. Yeah, the newer stuff is just so much better. Which I know everybody says that when
Everyone
it's their
does say
band,
that, but I agree.
This is one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, this is better. Like kind of across the board, and even
I just feel
even
like
if people didn't agree, we like this stuff better. So
I feel like, and that's all that really matters because you're fucking playing it.
Yeah.
It sounds like you turned into that band on this record, like all the playing and stuff like that. Like it really fucking works. On Decimation Treaty, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't.
Yeah,
remember that.
there's a lot of things about it. You know, a lot of the first album songs were written even way before the band was officially a
I
band.
remember. Yeah, you said that.
In all actuality, the first 2 songs on this record were demoed after we were done tracking in the studio on my computer when we were recording our first 7-inch. We're always like ahead. You know, it's even now the record's been out for a couple months now. We have 16 more songs.
Holy shit.
Always ahead. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I'm the same way, and I think what it is for us, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but it's like because we aren't a real, like we're not, like we don't tour, so it's like by the time like we actually get in the studio, I already have another album because like it's like we're not, you know, we have to go to work, we have lives, and eventually it's like, oh, we'll go in the studio in July. So by that time, it's like, oh, I have this new batch of songs. So I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to basically play the 10 songs that we are going to record and maybe go backwards and learn some more of the old catalog instead of like, seriously, we would make a record, and by the time that record was done, it was old to us. We didn't even care. So we'd play like 2 old songs and then play all new songs, and people would be like, I don't even know these songs. Bad, bad enough I'm here and you're playing shit we don't know, you know. So, but what? Oh, I thought you said something. So moving forward, just more tours and stuff like that.
So we have the whole summer booked. We're working on stuff for the fall, which is like for my real life, like really like the worst idea, but I just can't help it. You know, it's like, well, I need to make some money. I need to pay a bill. You know, thankfully, somehow I've always figured out something so far.
As far as like just paying that bill,
just making it happen.
Making it
you
happen,
know,
yeah.
Somehow or another. But it's like, I even said to somebody, like, I don't remember what the situation was, but it's like, I think it was, if you get this tour, like, or you could, like, keep doing this job, like, what are you going to do? It's like, I know I should just stick with this job. It makes more sense. And right now, at that time, I was like, that's my plan. But I was like, I know I'm not going to do that. I can't say no.
So you got a job that you want to stick with? Is that?
Oh no, I did have one.
Okay.
But I ruined it.
I misunderstood. You know, playing music or like any type of like arts stuff like that is like, it's like a blessing and a curse. Like if you're so consumed by it that, you know, it's like, just picture me. Like my whole life was like about my band, and my band did nothing. So that's how strong music is. Because to me, I'm like, I don't even care. You know, like we're writing music, and this is what I love to do. Even like the podcast stuff, it's like I do 2 of them. So anything creatively that I could do to make me forget about like a 9 to 5. It's like, all right, 9 to 5, it's like automatic. I just go, you guys give me a paycheck and whatever. So I need to stay creative and
use the other part of your brain sometimes.
Yeah. Like I have to. That's why it's just I don't know. I just need to stay busy.
Me personally, I don't know whether I want to use the word addicted or obsessed with.
Use both.
I am both addicted and obsessed with feeling fulfilled.
Yeah.
And music fulfills me.
Yeah.
And nothing else does.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, that's why when it comes to like real life, you know, I'm going to be 38 this August, and
I'm
like
40, bro.
My life is like fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm so mad at it. But it's like, you know, I would not have ever made other decisions. The only other decisions I would have made, which are different, I wouldn't have taken it for granted the way I did during a lot of This Is Hell.
That's what you would tell young Rick?
Yeah. But the thing is, I understand why I took things for granted then. You know, so on the other hand, I'm also, I'm very realistic. I think I lean towards being a pessimist, but at the same time, I cannot accept something because that's the way it is if I know it's supposed to be another way, and it could possibly be another way, even though most likely it's never going to be that way. So, like, I know, to me, 9 to 5s are bullshit. The concept of money, to me, is bullshit.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Now, I know that's the way the world works.
Of course. I just don't want to buy in.
But I do it. I buy in as little as humanly possible. And I know that's kind of...
I dip my toe.
It's kind of stupid, and I know other people are, like, freak out about that. Like, how are you not going to, you know, have savings? Or not even that. Like, how are you going to pay this bill if you do? Like, I don't really know.
You got a girlfriend, right?
But yes.
She give you that shit, too?
You know what? She does. She is... like the perfect balance.
Okay.
You know, where
every now and then you need a smack in the head. I know I do.
Yeah, I mean, but she understands the way my brain works a bit, where it's like it's not like I don't want to go to work. I want to sit down. You know, it's like, well, going to work, especially what I do now, it's fucking dumb. And like, but you got to make money, you got to do this, like, yes, but it's so much better doing, well, not so much better, but I feel an actual fulfillment doing one thing, and I feel like I want to fucking kill myself doing everything else. And
I'm so with you. That's why I work when I'm at work. Like everything I do, like I don't, my job is so mechanical that I could fucking Instagram, I could do emails, anything, book double features, like everything at work, because it's like I'm not mentally at work, I'm physically at work.
Yeah. It's a rough balance, especially because, you know, my girlfriend has her shit together, and, you know, she's way younger than I am, so it's like I need to get my shit together. but at the same time, it's like
younger and her shit together. So
there's only so much I can actually do because it's almost like I can't fight my nature, you know. And I don't know if that's like oh, like you're like smart guy, you're like enlightened, or if it's like you're fucking stupid. Like I can't tell. Sometimes I feel like I know better.
On that, we're gonna take a break.
All right.
But all right, yeah, you're not an idiot. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know what you. I think that was the last thing you said, so I'll edit it together.
There you go.
Hey, Rick, you're not an idiot.
Thanks,
there you
man.
go. We'll splice it.
Sometimes.
Moving forward, I saw that you guys were playing Wildfest. This is hell. So how did that
Yeah.
come about? Did Mike Bruno just ask you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we've been asked on and off for years by different people, like, hey, can you play this show? When are you going to play again? And up until recently, the main reason why we haven't played is I just didn't feel like it'd be fun. You know, we stopped playing actively because it stopped being fun. Like I was saying before, there's a combination of things. It was too much pressure because it was like all-encompassing of life. Even though the band was evolving, you know, outside of hardcore, we were still like, you know, very much like people thought of us as a hardcore band. And I was very anxious to get out of that also.
Did it feel like what, just constraint, like that you people had an expectation of what you were supposed to sound like?
That's one thing. You know, we kind of changed our sound a little bit every album. So every time, like we put out one album, people like it. We put out another album, people come to see us. They'd be bummed out because we don't sound like that anymore. And I don't want to say it was like we had 4 records, so we had 4 different groups of fans. I wouldn't go that far, but I mean, some people think we like alienated our fans every single record. Which I mean,
that's pretty badass.
We may or may not have done it, but it was just like we wanted to write this album, then that one, and this one, whatever. So the band just kind of stopped being fun. That's why I was like, let's just chill out for a bit. We never broke up, but this year Mike was like, "Hey, what's the actual chance of This Is Hell playing Wildfest?"
Episode 15, Mike Bruno from Iron Cheek.
Nice. So I was like, we might be into it. He's like, "Oh, really?" I was like, "Yeah, let me just text everyone real quick." And then, I think it was like a day later, we're like, "Yeah, fuck it, we'll do it."
Wow.
And it was just kind of like, oh, I didn't think that was like actually a chance. I was like, seems like fun. That's the only actual, like the thought that went into it.
And everyone was just like, yeah.
Well, all right. So this is the thing. Like I said, the band never broke up. I know some like promotions like, oh, reunion, but I mean, it's not a reunion. We never broke up. We stopped playing shows. But we so much, in fact, didn't break out that we put out a new record a year and a half ago, or 2 years ago at this point, 2016. May 16th, 2016, we put out that record.
What was the deal with that? I forgot.
So, our first EP came out May 16th, 2005. Our first full-length came out May 16th, 2006. So it was like, 10-year anniversary coming up of the one record everyone really likes. So Travis was like, hey, you want to do something special for that? I was like, it would be really cool if we tell people, like, on the internet, like, hey, we're going to make an announcement on May 16th, 2016.
I remember now.
And, the whole everyone assumed, you're going to do a 10-year show and all this shit. And I was like, I have these songs. Let's do this. So we learned the songs on a Saturday in an hour and a half, recorded, I don't know if it's like 16 or 17 songs on a Sunday, start to finish, and then
they were like a minute or something, right? A piece or something. Like weren't
they were short. It was it was like a punk record, like old hardcore. And then when people expecting on the 10-year date, we're gonna announce that we're doing this 10-year show. Like, nope, here's a new record. And
awesome.
Same thing, like that seemed like it would be fun. Let's go do it. So we did that.
How are you alienating the crowd at the show?
At the show we're about to play?
Yeah. Any ideas?
Well, I mean, I think it just comes naturally.
You guys gonna play Extinction AD songs?
Yeah, right. But to be honest, it was just like that seemed like it would be fun. And people were like, you gonna do a show? Like, I don't really want to play a show. But then this came up and it's like, this would be fun. It's obviously it's like a great cause to do it for. Like, fuck it, let's do it.
Who else offered you that is now looking back being like, hey, motherfucker, we asked you? Yeah. Anyone?
I mean, randoms.
Yeah.
There's some people that were just like, we get an email. Hey, just found out about you guys. When can you come play fucking Kentucky?
Never.
Yeah, never.
That's the right answer.
But, then there's, especially once it got announced that we're doing Wildfest. Now it's like, hey, you want to do this? You want to do that? You want to do this?
So Wildfest is a benefit that Mike Bruno from Iron Sheik does for their member Rob McAllister, who passed away a few years ago. So it's like Rob's nickname was Wild Dad. So it's just a benefit for his family, like a yearly thing that they do. Like it's usually like a 2-day thing. So super cool, they always try to help out the Rob's family, and they named it Wildfest. So every year, they ask bands. I don't know what he does. I guess he just
he tries to get a different lineup every year.
Yeah,
and throw in some newer bands and then some older bands. Especially, I think from what I get, stuff. People that are we're friends with Rob,
of course, yeah.
Which is it's cool,
Yeah, the shows do very well, and it's like a long, it's like a 2-day thing, and it's just a very nice thing to do. Like your friends are holding you down,
Yeah, a bunch of old people acting like young people. Rob
had 2 kids, wife that he left behind, so it goes to them. Have you guys practiced yet?
No, but we know what we're playing. So lineup, This Is Hell had 75 of everything.
Johnny Moore playing?
Yes.
Nice.
So, Travis and I are original members, and then, we were the only ones that are in the band the whole time. Then there was tons of drummers, tons of bass players, tons of second guitar players. But for the last record we did, it was me, Travis, John, and Burke. Dan Burke's the original drummer. John was the second bass player. So we were kind of like, well, what lineup should we do for this? So we considered splitting a bit with Jeff, who was the original bass player, and Jeff actually wrote a ton of the lyrics to early This Is Hell. And then John did, wrote a ton of he wrote almost all the lyrics for the second record, and he did like the bulk of the touring on the Sundowning record and the Misfortunes record. We were going to split the set between the two of them playing bass. Jeff called me one day and he was like, look, I have an idea. You can shoot this down if you like, but like, how about I just play second guitar, being that we were going to play one guitar, and that way we could all play the same, the whole show instead, which is like, Jeff's never played guitar in a live band. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. I was like, what do you need? And he's like, write me out some of the music of the songs, because obviously the guitar is different than the bass a little bit. He's like, and if I could do it, cool. If not, we'll go back to the original plan. So I sent him a couple of songs. He's like, oh, cool, I can do this. So it's almost like, it's like a mix of, it's a new lineup because John and Jeff never played in the band together.
Yeah.
And Jeff never played second guitar, but that's what we're doing. And it's like, to me, that's like super, super cool, especially because both of them were, lyric writers for the band and like very instrumental while they were in the band. Not that other members weren't instrumental, but I mean, so it's this type of thing of like moving forward. Is this the lineup of the band, or do we do like a fucking Scarhead thing where it's like me, Travis, and then maybe this guy, maybe that guy, which is like it's all cool with me.
Got to get a DJ if you're going to do Scarhead. The DJ is vital.
Shout out to Danny Diablo.
So it's super exciting to me, you know.
Yeah, if you walk away for something long enough, you know, it feels right sometimes. You know, you get that call, it's for a good cause, and you're like, yeah, why not? Let's just do it.
Yeah. So from there, it's kind of like, all right, we're gonna play all these songs. I have to relearn all these songs, and they're like fucking stupid songs, so they weren't hard to relearn. But playing them, like, oh, this is a cool song, and this is fun to play. So it's like
you
exactly
get to
what
go
I
through
wanted.
the catalog. Definitely,
Yeah.
love it.
It's cool, you know. Aside, you know,
And
we
you
did
just
that.
play guitar. You don't sing as well. in
No,
the band?
I sing like some dumb shit here and there, but like I'm not.
But it's
the
nice to
singer.
not have that pressure, right?
Well, not only that,
sing,
but
fun.
after playing the Extinction stuff, this stuff is like
yeah,
Child's
it's-
play.
yeah.
right.
So I was like, oh, this is probably why I was able to run around and flip around and you know
Right.
do all this shit for forever because like I'm.
Oh, yeah.
Like that. So I haven't played in like just a straight hardcore band, and so we did that band that Conflicted for a little while, but
Yep.
we barely played. But so like even that, I'm looking forward to it. You know, I used to get when we would tour with This Is Hell, I would never be able to put on any weight. You know, especially even I was like working out all the time, but it didn't happen. I was like, I don't understand what's going on. Am I not eating? It's like, oh, because I'm burning fucking 2,000 calories a night. You know, on stage by running around and acting like a jackass. So I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can handle that now, but if the mood strikes, then I'm like, oh, that might be fun.
Burning 2,000 calories. There you go. You should do like an instructional like workout video where, I guess like I'm just picturing him
Right.
like on a VHS tape running around, and everyone that does like the 8 guys behind him all have the guitar and they run
Jane
around.
Fonda workout.
Can we work on that? Can we push that idea?
I know you said you're probably not going to play Bloodlines, but real quick, can you just get into that video real quick?
Oh yeah, that was
I don't
a
know if
lot
you,
of fun.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen that,
Yeah,
but it's
that's
like
fun
a
video.
big fucking party, and you could like name everybody that's in the fucking video.
So I don't know why it just I think that song just got glanced over when we were going over what we're gonna play. I love that song. I love that whole record actually. So we knew we wanted to do a video that wasn't just, especially it was 2010. The last video I did prior to that proper video was 2006 or 2007, where for a little while every video, especially with a hardcore band or any heavy band, was like, all right, we'll just go in this warehouse and play. It's like, I'm fucking playing a goddamn warehouse again.
Fucking warehouse.
I was like, wouldn't it be cool if, we just made it look like a house party? Like, thought that would be fun, So everyone was like, yeah, that'd be cool. We came up with a couple ideas, like that toilet part.
Travis singing
Puking
through
in
the
toilet.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like fake puke into the toilet. Or it might have been real puke. I don't
Yeah,
know.
because he's just like sitting there singing through like a toilet seat.
So then it was like, all right, well, where are we going to do it? And the place we were, at that time, all of our friends, we lived in Huntington. Like we didn't want to do it at our house because our house was like nice-ish. Not that where we did it wasn't nice-ish, but that was like a party house. We did it at 441, where I think at the time Audley was there, Valentino was there. Fuck, who else lived there?
Was Frank living there at the time?
He was not living there yet. Lamelli was living there. Actually, it was Lamelli that made the whole thing happen.
Really?
Where it's kind of like, we're trying to sort out where to do this video. And Lamelli's like, why don't you do it here? Like, if you're looking for a place to have a party and do a video, do it here. And I know not everybody who lived there was psyched about it, but
I would imagine
Lamelli was cool with it. I mean, it's right up Lamelli's
Oh
alley.
yeah.
So it was like, fuck it. So we got there. We filmed all day. That was like I don't know how regular videos go, but that was like a 12-hour thing for us. Like just over and over and over again. It was
12 hours for 3 minutes.
Yeah. It was June, so it was 1,000 degrees. Well, it was June then, 1,000 degrees. It wasn't fucking wet garbage like it is now. And it was just kind of like, hey, everybody parties here all the time anyway. Come party. We're filming this video. Have a party when we film the video.
Yeah, very cool.
And people are timid in the beginning, like, oh, I don't know, it's weird. And some people they're fucking too hardcore for their own good. Like a video camera, I'm not playing for a video camera. It's gonna be on MTV. That's lame. And and then people get wasted, and
I was
then
about
all
to
of a
say,
sudden
just as
then
time goes on.
we're playing in the kitchen, and
Yeah.
Bobcat and Lamelli are throwing their beers across the kitchen. It's like, yeah. Their TV got broke at that.
During the shoot?
Yeah,
Wow.
which I was like, oh, I heard like, oh, it got bumped into, and it's like, oh, it kind of got messed up.
Was
and
it a
it's
nice
like,
TV or one of them?
No,
big
it was
butt-
it was there when they moved in, like one of those old projection TVs that is fucking huge. So I
big-
mean,
big ass.
it was
tube in
a
the back.
big like junky TV.
Yeah.
Um,
Rabbit ears.
Got a
But-
VCR jacket.
Nice.
but I mean, it was theirs.
Yeah.
But we found out. Like I said, oh, I got bumped. Like, oh no, kind of got fucked up. I'm like, oh no, it's shot. Which is like, by the time we found out it was shot, it was like a month later. It was kind of like, did we do anything about it? It's like, we're fucking broke.
You didn't take the proceeds from the video?
yeah. Well, that video did play on MTV,
Did it really?
and
Oh,
Travis and I actually hosted a Headbangers Ball.
what?
But it was after Headbangers Ball was only on the internet.
Oh,
But it was still cool.
Yeah.
I think we were on tour, or we actually drove to Jersey, and MTV sent a guy down there, and we introduced videos.
That's
and
how the podcast should have
did this
started.
shit.
What the hell have we been doing the whole time? You were on Headbangers Bowl?
I never saw it. I never went to look for it, but I know the video played on Headbangers Ball.
You said you hosted Headbangers.
Yeah. But I never went to watch the episode.
You're like, hey, this is Rick and this is Travis from This Is Hell, and you're watching what, Manowar or some shit? Like, what'd you announce?
I don't remember. I know. Fuck. I know we each got to pick a video. I don't even remember what video I picked.
Metallica.
Really?
Isn't that terrible?
Fudge Tunnel, maybe.
I feel like I would have picked something a little not
Right.
would have
Nail
not
bomb
played anyway.
Little nail bomb action, maybe.
But I don't recall. But I remember Travis picked the Deftones video, which is I know cool to most people.
You hate them.
I don't hate them.
Malamo, that's another one. He was on the thread, he was just like, fucking Malamo, man. If he has, I've never heard more shitty opinions come out of one person. He's like, Chino's never he's never been in key in his whole life.
Wow. I ripped that fucking inside poster off my wall.
Just so funny. But I know they're one of those bands that some people love and some people are just like, I just don't get this.
I like the band, but Chino.
Live,
I'm not in
I
love
could
with
agree
him.
with that.
Yeah.
Live, it's hit or miss with him.
Right.
Hit or miss. God,
But he's in great projects. I like
Yeah.
the diversity of stuff he does.
That
but
fucking
I
Bananarama,
get why
man. That
people
cover
don't.
fucking Cruel Summer killed it all fucking week. So
I respect the band, but I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
That Back to School song is fucking cool. That Change song is cool.
Mm-hmm.
My first exposure to Deftones is one of my friends that I actually grew up with and didn't see for years and saw him. And he's like, oh, you ever hear the Deftones? I was like, no. He's like, it's like rap metal. But this was the
Adrenaline?
I guess the early mid '90s.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the record was at the time because it was just
The first
him,
one was
him
like
telling
that.
me. So I guess it was probably '95 that we had this
So the
conversation.
Adrenaline.
yeah.
But I mean, it was before nu metal was nu metal.
Right.
So here, oh, that sounds sick. It's like rap and metal. Kind of like, I guess it's like bring the whole album up, bring the noise.
You do hear that back then because, growing up listening to both, it took me till, later on to be like, you know what? You guys don't need to mix this anymore. I'm good. I could listen to hip hop and I could listen to metal. I don't want to, I'm good. Don't
It hit
ever.
the apex at
Yeah.
Judgment Night.
It hit it,
For
but
you.
also the only group, Rage Against the Machine, was the only group that somehow managed to do it the right way.
Yes.
I love E-Town Concrete,
Okay.
I will back that. Thank you.
but
Yeah, if you want to take that angle, sure. I was talking about bands that people know.
well, my favorite, I think that's actually is my favorite thing about Deftones, especially because when Diamond Eyes came out, everyone's like, oh, it's the best album in the history of the world, which.
I love that record.
Despite my opinion of the record, which I don't even know if I have an opinion of the record, but being like, well, either way, it's nu metal, and I love when people get super bummed about that, as if you can't like something that's nu metal. Like you could think something is really good, something can in fact be great and be nu metal, but you don't have to, just pretend because you like it means it's like emotional hard rock or something.
I wonder what Fat Mike thinks about that album. Got to find out. See if he tweeted about it. So, all right. So before we finish up here, I want to ask you because I'm a huge UFC fan and you're a wrestling fan. So is Parker. CM Punk is going to fight on the next card.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that? Because I have my opinion.
What do you mean by what? Like across the board? What are my thoughts?
Yeah. Like, do you like it? Do you like the fact that like him and Brock Lesnar? I don't want to put them in the same category. So let's go with CM Punk because did you see the first fight?
Yeah. Okay. So me and CM Punk are friends.
Oh wow.
That sounds funny. Hey, we're friends. We're not like fucking we're best friends, but we're cool. We chat here and there, which is funny because the way we wound up being friends is because like he liked the band, and obviously I like wrestling, so
yeah, that works.
So it's like that's
Extinction.
So yeah, what?
Extinction AD.
This Is Hell.
Oh, This
was so we know each other for a while now.
Oh, okay.
So he liked This Is Hell, and we liked wrestling. So we wound up talking on the internet or whatever, and then we both wound up in California when H2O was filming a video from the Nothing to Prove record.
Yeah.
Okay, is it the one with Matt Skiba? Right.
Yep.
It's when
Record
there's
store?
a million people in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yep.
Because he's in that video.
Different.
CM Punk.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Oh, different one.
So yeah,
Okay.
John and I are in that video also. So we actually met in real life at that video. So then it's like, oh well, we're cool, and then it's kind of like, all right, well, we're here, and he's there, and
Is John his name?
No, John Moore.
Oh,
he was in This Hell at the time, so we're
yes.
both in that
Gotcha.
H2O video. So we're friends, and we'll text and chat and shit. So the thing about him is, and I mean, this is everywhere when you hear about him, but like he's doing this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You know what? I feel like doing this now. He's gonna go and do it, no matter what it is. Like, and it's not like, oh, I feel like getting into MMA a little bit. I'm gonna go and spar a little bit. He's like, feel like I might want to do MMA. I'm going full into it. Like as far as people who So I don't always buy into like, oh, sky's the limit. The world is yours. Anybody in the world could do anything. I don't really buy into that. I don't think anybody in the world can do anything.
Me neither.
He can do anything. Anything he wants to do, he's going to do. Like whether he succeeds at it or fails at it, he's going to at least do it.
What if he wanted to take over the singing and guitars of Extinction AD?
I don't know if he'd be successful at it, but if he decided he wanted to do that, like if he wanted to be in a band, he would start a band.
Okay.
He'll be like, oh, well, you're not good at singing, and like this song sucks. Like, well, I want to fucking do this band. I'm doing this band.
So he's a cool dude.
Oh yeah, he
Super
totally cool.
Normal cool dude.
Attitude. Oh, if he doesn't like you, he's a shithead. If he likes you, best dude. Which that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people I know at least.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But he wanted to do wrestling his whole life. He did wrestling. He should not have ever been the way the business went. He should never have made it to WWE, let alone become, the most important wrestler of the 2000s. That might be arguable, but to me, that's a fact. He always did Muay Thai and everything, but he's like, I don't want to do wrestling anymore. It's not fun for me anymore. I want to get into MMA. I'm going to do it. So he's a big enough name that when word got out, UFC came to him.
Yeah.
He didn't go after UFC. They came to him, and, did he get his ass beat that first match? Like, obviously. But it wasn't like, oh, I want to do this for the sake of so people see me. Like, hey.
No, I believe he wants to do it. I believe he totally wants to do it.
So the thing is, I think it's cool enough that he did it once. The fact that, to some people, like, oh, he got embarrassed. To him, he didn't get embarrassed. Like, he tried his hardest and realized, I'm not where I need to be at, so I need to put all this work into being better. Then, when I found out about this new fight, he's been training in Milwaukee. It's like,
June next Saturday, so a week from tomorrow.
Yeah. We were bullshitting. I found out we were going to Chicago. It was like, hey, we're going to be in Chicago. It's like, I'm in Milwaukee. It's like,
Shout out to the Cobra Club.
Yeah. He's like, I'm training again, blah, blah, blah. Eventually, he's like, oh, I got this fight. And I'm like, just saying I'm going to do another fight after what happened last time, and the way, you know, the majority of UFC fans are so fucking pretentious. Like, that takes so much balls from my point of view. Yeah. And dude, like, he's a comic nerd also.
Yeah. He seems like,
you know,
he seems like a cool dude. Listens to good music, and like, I'm rooting for him. Mm-hmm. I hope he fucking annihilates everyone he fights, because it's good for the UFC.
Definitely.
Because there is this, you know, realistically, do I think it's going to happen? I don't know. But, like, you know, for the sake of for a fun story and to get crossover fans, it would be fun. It's like, oh, okay, this guy wrestled. Because I know this other guy, Bobby Lashley. I don't know who.
So Bobby Lashley was a wrestler, like a amateur wrestler,
yeah.
Got into pro wrestling, left WWE, and was wrestling in TNA, which is like it comes across like a full-time deal, but it's not like a full-time deal, so he's able to split his time between TNA and MMA. I think he did well in MMA. He's back in WWE now. But, I mean, Batista do you see that Batista MMA fight?
Yeah.
Very funny.
Yeah, they're very big guys. So aesthetically, it's fun, because you like to see people. You know, you see Brock Lesnar when he first came, you're like, oh, this is fun. This guy looks like a fucking tank. And, you know, I guess he smothered a couple of people, and then once he got punched in the face, it didn't, you know, you're kind of like, oh, shit, all right, because it didn't work out for you. I think, I don't know, I just wanted to get your opinion on it, or your thoughts on it. So you're all about him.
Oh, you know what? I'm all about him doing anything, because I think it's so cool to, like, I can do anything, you know? I'm going to be a wrestler. I'm going to write for Marvel Comics.
It's admirable.
I'm gonna be in UFC. Like, God, this fucking guy.
Determined.
Well, it's determined, and it's admirable, because, like, for the most part, most people don't do shit.
Not to mention, like, things that are so risky, it pays off for some people, and it doesn't pay off for other people. You know, some of us are 37, almost 38, and like, I'm gonna go on tour, and it's like, oh, you're stupid. But some of us are, you know, are a similar age, and like, well, I was the most important wrestler of an entire decade, and then I'm in UFC, and I, you know, wrote for Thor and Drax a bunch, and, you know,
Did he do that?
Yeah. It just, you know, and like I said, like, he's like a fucking cool guy, so I think it's sick. And
right, so the third time you come on, just bring him.
You know, I'm hope for the best for that fight, you know, for many reasons, but like, win or lose, it's just kind of like, you know, if you know anybody, you grow up with somebody, and they play in the major leagues, even if they have like a cup of coffee, to you seeing that is like, my friend threw a pitch on television. It's like, that guy fucking sucks, or, you know, something like that. But like, to you, it's like, oh, my friend threw a pitch in the major league or whatever, right. And it's like, that's the biggest deal in the world. So
yeah, because it just, like I said, it's admirable. You know, most people just think about what they'd like to do, and he's just like, I want to try this, and you do it. Like, some people just, like, I don't follow through with 90% of the shit that I want to do.
And dude, for him to do it,
percentage could be higher.
Yeah, for him to have that first fight, and, you know, he got annihilated, and like, even like, first thing he does, he goes and tells Mickey Gall, like, don't ever let someone tell you, like, what you can and can't do. Like, oh, so you just got destroyed by this guy, and you're giving him inspiration. And then he's not even being like, oh, I don't care, whatever. He was like, you know, teary, like, well, I didn't do as well as I wanted to, but this is great, and this isn't the last of me. And then that's over, and you figure that's actually the last of him. Like, nope. Years later, hey, I'm back. I'm going to try it again. That's the sickest.
You got to respect that.
I didn't think he was going to come back. I thought it was just like, hey, you know, they tried. I would have liked the match to have been a little bit longer, because there's such anticipation. So,
and with MMA, you never know. You know what I mean? Like,
7-second knockout.
There's no more, from my point of view, unpredictable sport ever than MMA. You know what I mean? Like, from somebody like just not expecting something to, like, you know, a lucky shot to just like
to Anderson Silva's leg breaking in half.
Some people can dominate 90% or 99%, but there's that one person they just for some reason can't figure out.
Yeah, I see it,
and that's what's so fun about that sport.
I love it. From, like, you know, 1 to whatever they're up to 200 and change. Like, it was just one of those things that just I took to, because I was such a wrestling fan that it just seemed like the natural progression for me once UFC came around. I'm like, okay, all about this. And plus, like, the Ultimate Warrior beat Hogan. I was like, fuck this shit. I'm out of here.
Then Hogan killed him in Vegas.
I couldn't get over it. I mean, granted, I was like 12, maybe, or
You
1990.
still haven't gotten over it.
90 August 1st,
tell.
1990.
It was,
Nice.
right? So
Yeah.
I was 12. I just couldn't get over it. I'm like, I can't. Like, Hulk Hogan lost. Like, I can't. I just couldn't get over it.
That's why it was such a big deal.
Yeah.
So great.
Yeah.
Took the Ultimate Warrior to do it.
Missed the leg drop, man.
So for me, I was gonna. I had plans to go see either Guns N' Roses tribute band today, because it landed. They're playing the Paramount. Shout out to JT.
Mm-hmm.
And then I actually gave up my ticket for the Slayer farewell tour because they're playing Jones Beach, and it was one of those things where, like, a friend was like, "Oh, do you want us to get you a ticket?" I was like, "Connecticut?" I was like, "Sure." Like, it's long. 2 months ago, like, you don't think it. You're like, yeah, June 1st. Right. Yeah, whatever. If I'm alive, I'll go. And so they get me the ticket, but I just, I'm so stupid. Like, you go to shows long enough to know that they're going to fucking play Jones Beach or somewhere around here. So I was like, yeah, well, why don't you get rid of that ticket for me, because I don't want it. I'm going to Jones Beach. And because I'd miss a day of work, and I'd have to stay at a hotel room in fucking Foxwoods. It's like, no, I don't want to do that. So.
Yeah.
But what do you think of, like, a band like Slayer doing, like, their farewell? Like, it's,
I think they probably should have taken some younger bands out.
Yeah.
And not saying, "Oh, my band," because that's
general.
ridiculous. But that's
they don't. Really.
Slayer does not never
I think
did that. And that's such a
Hatebreed
bummer.
was the last time they took someone out.
I think they only take Lamb of God out now for like 6 years.
And Anthrax.
Yeah.
It's like the same tour every year.
Yeah.
It's funny about the big four bands is the ones that you wouldn't expect are the ones that take out the smaller bands, like fucking Megadeth. You think like Dave Mustaine, he's not going to do anything. Granted, he takes out these younger bands and then he beefs with them.
About what?
About everything in the world. He did. There's a whole debacle with Havoc.
Oh.
But
okay.
At least they did take out Havoc. We're a band like
Jeff's In This Moment the first time when they were going on tour. They took them out.
Yeah.
They said he was really cool. Yeah.
Historically, Megadeth has taken out not no-name bands, but up-and-coming bands.
Right.
A band of their stature. They should, they're doing, on a bad night, 1,600, on a good night, 3,500. They should be taking out bands that are doing, 300, 400 on their own.
And theoretically, what does that do to a younger band?
I mean, just think about that. It exposes them to so many more people, especially with the thrash bands. Like, these bands are so, like, clinging onto their spot and they're going away. Like, I always get afraid that thrash is going to wind up like classic rock, or
classic rock is just beat, man. Like, you it makes me insane. It doesn't make me insane because I guess I don't listen, but like, you put on the radio and like, we can go in the car right now and put on the radio and I guarantee you it's like Stairway, maybe Back in Black is like, it's the same fucking
Journey.
Brothers.
Yeah,
And some of those bands I like.
Yeah,
And I like a lot of songs, but it's always the same cut from that band.
Yeah. And it's always
little
some
fucking
guy.
Toto Rosanna.
Gotta play that,
I
or
fucking hate that song.
Jeff Porcaro, rest in peace.
But and then the
it's
one
always
guy
the
that's like, how are you requesting songs? Like, why are you on the phone?
like
Really?
I can't believe there's somebody that like wants to hear like rock and roll
Yeah.
by Zeppelin. Like, I really want to hear that because I don't remember what it sounds like
I
right
feel like
now.
you're on the phone, you're sitting there, and you're just like, let me call up BAB, and like maybe they'll play rock and roll for me.
and it's not to like shit on something because it's old. It's just that it's been beaten into your head. It's in your like. I love Sabbath, obviously. They're gods. Iron Man. Do I need to hear Iron Man ever again? I don't think so. I could play it in my head right now.
Yeah.
I'm good. It's almost a compliment to that song. It's so embedded in culture that I don't need to hear it
You got to take
anymore.
that jersey and retire it.
Yeah, hang it up in the rafters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd rather hear a deep cut. Like
Because
play,
Iron Man, yeah.
you
Play
know,
deep
Hand
cut.
of Doom or something by Sabbath, or like something different, or No Quarter by Zeppelin. I don't know. Anything.
I don't.
That's
because
not
like,
gonna happen.
what is like the next evolution like of bands like for
Ghost.
like BAB? Yeah, Ghost. What do you think about Ghost?
I think I didn't get Ghost.
Yeah.
I wanted to.
I
because
wanted to
everything
so
about it is so
bad,
cool, but the
right?
music didn't do it for me. When I saw him live with Maiden. I was like, oh, I get it, and it rules.
Okay.
I didn't listen to the new record though.
I heard some of it. It's
played
pretty
it, too.
good.
I
It
liked
sounds
it.
heavier, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The choruses, man, they got hooks.
That
Yeah.
second
Great
the
hooks.
Rat song that they
Yeah.
made the video for, I loved it.
They write good fucking songs.
But I'm with you. Like I felt like I just wanted to like him. Same thing with NoFX. To go back to them, like they're one of those bands that people loved, and I'm like, oh, like at 15, you feel like you're supposed to like NoFX. You're skateboarding and you like the Misfits and you like Minor Threat, and people like when you see NoFX, I'm like, I'm supposed to like this.
right.
And I listen to it, I'm like, I'm trying so
It's
hard.
It's that look of Ghost that
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, because like you see on all the metal pages and stuff, it's not metal. It's not. It's like, all right, yeah, they're not really metal.
No, somebody
but
said
they're a
like
hard
Blue
rock.
Oyster Cult.
That's
I'm like,
what I
perfect.
always thought they sound like.
Yeah.
Blue Oyster Cult. Like, it's a hard rock band,
Yeah.
metal per se, but who gives a fuck what it's technically
I-
called?
I-
Do you
exactly,
like it or
exactly.
not?
Yeah.
Like,
I really like this song. It's so good, but it's not,
not
metal, so
metal.
I can't even get into it.
that's like when metal just bums me out.
Yeah.
When I read some of with the fans.
You know
I
what
mean,
it is?
that's any
It's
genre.
anything.
I
Though.
love that they're passionate, but
But like
sometimes
fans
it's like,
ruin
stop.
shit though. Like fans.
Star Wars, they ruin.
I don't know. The Last Jedi was pretty goddamn good.
I know, but how many people had bad things to say about it? Remember, there was a whole backlash. Like, what? Did you
Yeah.
watch the same movie? I thought
Well,
it was
because
pretty good.
people said that it killed their childhood.
Well,
People
they
wanted
want
that movie to be what they wanted
Yes.
it to be. They didn't
want-
want a new installment. They want a new installment of what was in their brain. Like, hey, you know what? The world doesn't revolve around you and your fucking computer.
but
They
also,
wanted that to take them exactly how they felt when they were 10 years old somehow. Magic. It's not gonna.
Which
it's
the
a fucking movie, and you
The
know.
Force Awakens did that. Like, what more do you want to
Exactly.
do?
They sucked you in with Force Awakens
That's
being
it.
a reboot of they went through all three of the old movies. Let's get a little bit of everything put in there so the next one could be something totally different and we could do it forever.
I went to the Solo movie over the weekend.
Oh, what'd you think?
I thought
I'm
it
not
was
going to
good.
watch it, so.
I thought it was good. Was it amazing? No, but it was entertaining. I went with my son. He loved it, and but it bombed.
Did it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
was at
fell
the box
far with the-
office.
with the
It
numbers
did
they were
not do
saying.
well whatsoever.
Do you feel that just like that, like it's because it's our generation that's supposed to be seeing it? I don't think it's.
Well, there's that, and I think some people are reading. Maybe it's a little with all these like
what did Fat Mike say about it?
with these side movies. You know what I mean? These little
Yeah.
sub stories and stuff like
I
that.
still didn't see Rogue One, so
that
yeah.
it's like too much. They're
A little oversaturation.
yeah, like everyone was waiting for a long time for it to come back, and now they're just fucking pumping one out like as much as they can. You know what I mean? So
It's like
it
the
could
fucking
be that.
Saw movies. I don't
Yeah,
know.
same thing.
Uh,
Yep.
Yeah, the Saw movies are just there to. It's like you just watch it for death scenes. Not like,
I didn't think it was a bad movie, but I don't know. Maybe all those people that hated The Last Jedi, they actually boycotted this like they said they were gonna. Maybe that's what happened. I don't fucking know.
I'm looking at
But
Jason Koza right
'em.
now.
Listen, if it's not a lifestyle to you, Star Wars, it's a good movie. If you're like one of those guys, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Don't go.
Yeah, I don't know. Even like that movie Revenge, like I'm like championing it, talking about how good it is. It's. Have you ever seen the movie I Spit on Your Grave? Or do you know? It's like a revenge movie. But anyway, so there's like a new movie.
Who?
Nobody of note.
What's that
is in
dude's
it.
name?
Are you talking about the OG one?
Oh, it doesn't either one. Basically, it's a revenge movie called Revenge that just came out like a few weeks ago, and I watched it and I did everything but pull my pants down and jerk off on the TV when it was done. I was like, amazing,
all right.
completely fucking
Little
amazing.
joy
They
juice.
should put that shit on the poster.
Yeah,
Sam Hoyle.
drop my
Scratch
pants.
and sniff.
Drop trial and jerk off
So,
this movie.
but
Sam,
and then you
Red
go-
River Podcast.
But then you go to Horror Nerd Discussion, my stupid group, my cesspool, and like no matter what, there's like people. I'm not going to name her name, but it's like, oh yeah, this movie was okay. It just wasn't realistic, and I'm thinking like, realistic. Somebody gets thrown off a fucking mountain, lands impaled, and kills everyone afterwards. Like, yeah, of course it's
Same
not.
thing. It's not scary. It's the same
Yeah.
thing. Like really.
It just fucking like,
Dude, those are the people that are like, I used to watch wrestling, but then it became so fake. Like, oh, You thought the $1 Million Man actually had $1 million?
Nice.
Like, come on, you idiot! Like, how anybody could have ever watched professional wrestling and thought like, this is real? Like, if you're watching wrestling and think that it's real, you are fucked up. That's some fucked up shit to watch and be like, what? I really like the
real to
you
me,
know.
damn it.
I almost did, but then like I said, I was 12 when I watched it. So and then I went back to it in the 90s, like when The Rock came, because those characters were so interesting that I'm like, oh, maybe I can watch it again, because promos back like in the Iron Mike Sharp days didn't really exist. So
It was the little box in the corner.
Yeah, it just wasn't
hey man,
trash
I'm
talking.
gonna beat your ass.
you know,
That's a name I haven't heard ever.
Iron Mike Sharp. Well, he was like the ultimate like fucking
Had
like,
the black leather thing.
Yeah, because he was like
forearm,
every
the
Saturday
jobber.
afternoon he lost to someone different.
Him and there was a guy, Charlie Brown, I think was his name.
No, Bad News Brown.
Bad News Brown.
Yeah.
Ghetto Blaster, man.
Yeah. He lost every week too.
No,
he won the
not
fucking.
him.
He won the what's his
Then
name?
it's somebody
Battle
else
Royal.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
of. There
Pez-
was a guy, Charlie Brown, I want to say. I'm going to look it up.
Are you thinking of Leaping Lenny Poffo?
No, this guy
Barry
used to lose
Horowitz.
every...
Yeah.
Maybe it was before you guys
Barry
because
O?
I am 45.
Who is Barry Horowitz? Because
He was
the
another
first,
jobber.
Yeah.
Okay,
That was
so
this guy. He slapped himself on the
the
back.
first.
He
listen,
would.
Yeah,
the first
I remember
Action
that.
Bronson song I ever heard was off the record Dr. Elector, and the song was called Barry Horowitz.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, it's an intro, and it sounds like I don't know, Lord Alfred Hayes or one of them dudes.
Nice.
And he's like talking about this guy patting himself on the back, but I don't know the guy.
Yeah, that was
Barry
his gimmick.
Horowitz.
Yeah, that song's great.
Yeah.
So shout out to Action Bronson wherever he's at right now.
So
Listen.
you telling me the conquistadors weren't really from Spain? And I fell for it all these years.
They were from Mexico. They have Spanish blood though.
Ah, okay.
Are you telling me Tito Santana wasn't really Mexican? That's
Pedro
a,
Morales.
No, he was Mexican.
yeah, that was the one dude I was like, because it wasn't. I can't think of any other Hispanic dudes.
Pedro Morales.
Pedro Morales, a Puerto Rican.
Was he?
Yeah, he
Oh.
was the first one to
That was it, though. Those
to win
two.
all the
Or-
titles.
the Rock Don Morocco.
I think he's from Morocco. All right, before this
They
show
just spray tan that
before,
guy.
before the show gets any more out of control,
Yeah.
I guess we're good, man. Fucking so the future is bright for This Is Hell is going to do one show and that's it.
Who knows?
Who knows?
I mean, as of right now, it's like
Spoiler alert.
everything seems
Stay
like
tuned.
it's fun. So I guess we'll.
Oh, I get
we'll-
it. This
we'll
is a
see.
business move. Anticipation.
yeah.
God.
But you know,
He's
Extinction.
going to announce it on the Eddie Trunk.
Yeah.
When he hits that shit. He's saving it.
They're gonna go to the guy who come back from commercial and someone's gonna be playing guitar
Yeah.
solo, and then some chick with a fucking CBGB's tank top's gonna
Nice.
come out and be like, "Travis has an announcement."
The Eddie Trunk Show. I knew it.
But yeah, I mean, who knows? We'll play the show and see how fun it is. It might be like, when you don't play for a while, then you play. We did this with Soldiers. All those Soldiers actually did break up. And we're like, let's do a show. And we were so excited. We did a practice, and the practice was so much fun. After that practice, I was over it. And then we did another practice, and it was like, ugh, whatever. And the show sucked. And I was like, oh, we could have just practiced, had a good time, and then bounced.
That is.
If it's
that's
not
the
there,
worst
it's
feeling.
just not there.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess we'll see. Hopefully, we won't do a practice and be like, that's a lot of fun, and then go to do second practice and be like, oh, this sucks.
Right.
Either way, we're going to play the show.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes. Extinction has the tour coming up all summer. We're working on some other stuff for the fall. Hopefully, something comes through because there's some really, really cool potential things, but there's always really cool potential things. That doesn't fucking mean anything.
There always is, but seriously, like I wanted to just talk to you again because as I'm looking for this flyer this guy sent me, I just respect what you do. I respect that you're out there grinding, doing what I wish I could do. I just don't have the balls to do it. And that's it. Like we're almost the same age, and you're out there just still fucking killing it. So.
I mean, thank you. Like I said, sometimes I'm almost embarrassed about it sometimes because I feel like it's like, what are you trying to do, man? Like, you're just old. Give it up. Like I don't even feel like a washed up guy. I feel like I didn't even get to the point to be considered washed up. So it's like you're still trying, kind of like the guys in Anvil, like. They weren't washed up. They never even fucking.
All right, I might
You
want to.
guys are way better than
but,
Anvil.
You know what? I might want to edit out my praise after that. Actually.
but like I said, I honestly I think I enjoy it more now than ever. And and it's hard because there's a ton of metal bands. I don't even want to say thrash. There's a ton of metal bands, but the stalwarts are dying out. Like we said,
Yeah.
Metallica's on this whole other level.
Yeah.
Megadeth is, who the fuck knows, man. Mustaine's foolish. Slayer's about to be gone. Anthrax refuses to take out younger bands. I know Anthrax took out Killswitch and Havoc, and I love Anthrax. Did Anthrax take out Killswitch, or did Killswitch is psyched to go out with Anthrax and they co-bill it and whatever?
Right.
I mean, and Havoc was on that, so that's awesome. I can't remember before that the last time Anthrax took out a band that wasn't Exodus or Testament.
Yeah, totally right. And they should be I mean, they had created this subgenre of music to like keep it going by all these outstanding young bands that are like
there's
emulating them and doing new stuff with it.
Yeah,
it's insane.
There's a lot of bands that in our bubble, Toxic Holocaust, like, oh, they're gonna bring a bunch of kids. It's gonna be a good time. Municipal Waste, Iron Reagan, Power Trip, all these bands on their own, like, oh, they could do 400 or 500 kids, and that's a ton. But then there's bands like Testament, Anthrax that can do 1,000 or more. Which bring these bands out. Don't bring out the fucking Bion bands. You'd be surprised how that's like still a thing. Or you might not be surprised, but that's a thing where like we'll hear about a tour and submit, and they're like, oh, they're looking for a Bion. Like, well,
So basically, just kind of like you got to pay.
The way it goes, usually somebody, whether it's like a rich parent or a label or whatever the fuck, pays X amount of dollars, and the band goes on the tour and doesn't make any money on the tour, and usually that money goes to paying for the headliner's bus for the whole tour or their semi or whatever the fuck. I get it from a business point of view, but man, that's some whack bullshit. Especially the bands that buy on, like, you could fucking tell. I'd like to think you could tell because, I mean, I could tell, and I don't even think it's just because it's like, like when I worked at the Paramount or Webster or Emporium, like, I had to load these guys' gear.
You do
and
see that, yeah. All right, so in closing, I just want to make an announcement. It's pretty official, the double feature with Terrifier and The Strangers Pray at Night. So September 14th, it's going to be Red River Podcast Horror Nerd Presents over at Cinema Arts Center through Retro Picture Show. Mike Ciani's doing his thing, so me and him are going to do it. And that's it. It's official. September 14th. Unfortunately, it's a little bit away, but we're all going to hang out except Langan. He's going to be at Busch Gardens, right?
Yeah. One weekend I'm doing something. Happened to
The
fall.
one weekend.
on that one. But,
I'm like, I got 52 to choose from. Give me this one.
Yeah.
It's
booked.
But I wanted to do something like this, to have these two movies play on a big screen, and it'll be cool, and there's fucking popcorn and all that other shit. You guys could drink fucking, I think they sell beer there. I don't know.
Special guests. Any surprise special guests?
I think Damien
PJ4.
Yeah,
Porch F4.
Yeah, the Porch F4 are going to be there. The guy with the stump.
Nice.
The guy on the bike is definitely there.
He should ride a bike on stage, like right on stage.
We might have
Like
to
this.
recreate the scene
Staring at his
completely.
hand.
I think he chopped off his hand by now.
He looks like that other guy now.
You could do like the closing scene in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. He could ride across the screen.
I would cut my whole arm off if
Yeah.
that was me.
But seriously, like I was saying, September 14th, I think by the time this episode airs, I think it'll be official, because Mike just hit me up and he said Monday, Tuesday, which means nothing to you if you're listening to us in the future. But also, YouTube, we have the channel if you want to subscribe, or go to fucking iTunes and leave a review, or whatever the fuck you do for podcasts. Like if you're friends with us and you're like, oh, these guys are fucking losers and they hang out fucking and talk stupid shit, but let me just take 5 seconds out of my life to fucking subscribe to something.
Don't cost nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think people associate subscription with money.
Yeah.
Like it's
You don't have to leave a credit card to be billed later.
You don't
after
get a
your free
football phone,
trial.
though.
No football.
all you got to do is just stick your finger and just hit subscribe and all that other shit.
Click like.
Click
a star.
Yeah, it's almost like you don't have to listen to it, but if you do, that's cool. And I think a lot of people kind of dug the last episode because it was like the three of us just talking fucking shit.
That was nice to hear.
So
Good feedback.
I think so.
Yep.
Every now and then it's nice to just enter
Be
our own
validated.
world. Yeah, be validated. That's it, right? Anything?
Yeah, that's it, man.
You're good? Rick, thanks for being
Yeah,
Thanks for having me again.
Another
Listen to me
two-timer.
ramble on
Two-timer
on
guest.
recording.
You joined the club of Mike Malamo.
Yeah, you're in Mike's club
multiple-
now.
Maybe we'll have
Yes.
like a steel cage match on like winner take all. I know.
I think Rick got that one. To be honest. That's all right.
We should do a duet.
Nice.
What song would Mike come out to? REM?
He would come out to Everybody Hurts, REM.
Oh,
Worst
He
REM
would.
song. Shiny Happy People.
What would be your entrance song?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Man, I've had so many that would be my song. Clobbering Time would probably.
nice.
That was when we wrestled in the backyard. That was my entrance theme.
Yeah. Okay. So give it all.
Okay.
Clobber time.
That works.
Awesome.
Not Mouth for War, which I
No Man of War. Well,
no.
I don't know, man. Maybe To Live Is to Die. I'd have to cut out the intro though.
Yeah, you need to cut out like a
it'll
lot.
be a long walk to the ring.
Yeah.
you'd have to do laps. But you get your cardio going for like 9 minutes and 48 seconds. Lang, what would your entrance be?
Me?
Yeah, to like the podcast. Actually, you know what? If you had your own theme song, what would it be? Like you're walking through Holtzville or wherever the fuck you live.
Oh, Jesus. I don't know, man. Hella Waits?
Hella Waits?
Hella Waits.
Okay.
The long intro.
The long intro.
Yeah, just the noise. Not that even the song. 'Cause that's like what's in my head all the time.
Parker, I know you thought about this.
I honestly didn't.
Really?
No.
I
come on.
figured you'd be the
Nah.
only one with
I've
an
been
answer.
waiting my whole life
Nah.
for someone to ask me this.
I don't know. Maybe like sad but true. I do because that fucking song always just fucking hit me hard.
That's a good entrance theme. Yeah.
Is it?
know.
I was just thinking it's sad. Sad. I don't know. I
What would
guess.
you-
Not
pick?
with the Kid Rock version
No,
rapping
the
over it.
fact
though.
that it has the pause and everything.
Yeah.
So like they could.
Hit my pyro and shit.
Exactly.
You know.
You can hit the pyro
Right.
with the. You see, these guys are wrestling fans. They know,
true.
like that
They
makes
know the
a lot-
game.
I know how to play that riff, and it's a lot of fun to play. So,
What
I
would
still,
you pick?
I don't know. Nothing. Firestorm.
Weezer?
Firestorm.
It would be.
Firestorm.
It would.
Firestarter? The Prodigy?
No.
No. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it would be Weezer. It would be
No
Sweater
effects.
song?
It would be no effect.
No
Did you-
effects.
Did you see that
Pavement?
picture of Wheezy?
I posted it.
Did you post
Yeah,
that? I
that was
saved
good.
that onto my phone.
Yeah.
That's. Hey, did you see that picture that you posted?
Well, Joe has posted it, and I
Oh,
yeah,
fucking Joe.
Man,
has to-
that
yeah.
shit rules. I
It is.
loved Wheezy when I was a kid.
it's- Me too. Yeah.
She's the best. She's probably dead, right?
Really?
I
dead,
definitely.
probably.
She'd been dead like 20 years, probably. Been dead by the time
So
the Blue
dead.
album came out.
Nofx killed her.
Yeah, what does Mike?
Fat Mike
does
think
Fat
about
Mike-
Wheezy?
How much of this am I going to edit out? Probably the whole thing. So, all right, cool. That's it. Thanks.
Yeah, see it.